advanced and advanced character. Okay, so this is where you should be uploading your daily sketches. Okay, Umesh, over to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Sean, for showcasing those very interesting sketches. I mean, those advanced sketches, they are very, very exciting. And there's a lot of scope for uh, creating your own stuff once you start replicating them. And it gets very interesting. So that's a very good add-on to the DQ Edge. Okay. Sean, sorry, sir, you're on mute.
Sorry. Just like to add to that. Those who are doing it, don't worry about time. I know each of the
Mm.
sketches will take a long time, no problem. Time we will work on post-October. There is something called as design exam readiness classes, especially for the 12th standard students. We will explain that to you later. Yeah, sorry, Umesh, please go on.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So the reason why we called all the students and parents to this meeting is that this is like kind of a start of the year for us, right? So because one batch of students have finished their exams, chosen their colleges, they got admitted and they have moved on from DQ labs, right? So that one cycle is done. Now there is a new cycle that we'll be focusing on for with all your students, those who are preparing for the 2025. And we, of course, we also have students who are going for the 2026. So we'll be discussing about a strategy for the next 1 year or 2 years. So depending on where you are, right? So this is especially focused for the NID, okay, and also for NIFT round two. Okay, we did a similar kind of a session for NIFT students for theory. Similarly for NATA students for theory, and this we are doing for the NID students. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry for that. So, so we wanted to basically align all of you onto what we are going to do, and how we are going to approach these exams. Yeah, I'm sorry for that again. Okay. So for all the students who are taking the exam in 2025, you have the uh, sorry, I'm getting sneezes. Oh, all right. Okay, I guess my sneezes get subsided. Uh, sure. Could you please take over? Just give me a minute. I'll take some spray and come. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Just a quick, there are Umesh, you're saying it's the beginning of the year. Just to give you all this will be about strategy and how you can go about things. You have students in the 11th, you have students in the 12th. So students in the 11th, it's good for you to listen because at least you'll know what to expect for next year. Now, students in the 12th, please remember that in the month of October, we will be starting off with design exam readiness classes. Okay. Now, what is that? That is basically classes that will be held since your holidays will be there. So it'll be classes that will be held on a regular basis every day from Monday to Friday. The class timings will be sent. It will be happening during the vacation, the October school vacations. And so why are we telling you in advance? So that please do not plan any travel in the month of October, 12th standard students, because you have to compulsorily attend these classes. And why it's important? It's because um, um, it is held every day, so not just Saturday, Sunday, and it is held for almost half-day sessions. So the amount of portions that will be revised and covered are a lot. Okay, number one. Number two is most importantly, we'll be practicing speed. right? So all this time you'll be drawing. There'll be sessions where we'll be testing what you have understood so far, and there will be sessions where we will be working on speed, right? So things we will be timing you all, and so far you all been drawing, but not too worried about the speed. But speed is very, very, very important. In fact, that's the first thing you need to understand from a strategy point of view from the exam. If you're not able to draw fast, then it's a problem. You'll not be able to finish the paper. So, but it will come. It's much easier than you think. Just the first few sessions will be a little difficult till you get the hang of it. But once you get the hang of it, you yourself will know where not to waste your time and how to quickly draw and how to quickly cover a lot of information in your drawing within the certain amount of time. So therefore, please do not take any leave, holiday travel for the month of October, for the month of December, right? Your exam will be NID. The first paper will be somewhere, it will be in the last week of this last year, it was in the last week of December. The previous year, it was in the first week of Jan. So basically, first week of Jan, last week of December, that's when the exam is going to be. The dates are be announced. And so December, no travel. And why no travel? Because once again, you'll have a few holidays sometimes before Christmas, and those who need that extra practice, that extra support, once again, we'll be having a set of design exam readiness classes. Now, these classes will be conducted both physically and online. Those who are not able to attend it physically can attend these classes online. Yeah. Umesh, I just told them about the
Yeah.
design exam readiness classes. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yeah. So as Sean is saying, the 2025 students will be having the exam on December, end of December, and the UCEED is in is in Jan. All right. Okay. So there is look into the kind of skills and aptitudes that you should be developing. All right, to do really well in this exam. Okay. So there are certain things which are common for the NID and UCEED. As you are all aware, UCEED has only one exam, right? And then you are given some ranking, and based on the ranking, you'll be given opportunities to apply for IITs and get admission there. All right. So whereas the NID has got two rounds. The first round is happening in December. Those who qualify round one, they'll be called for round two, which will happen in April or May. All right. Very interestingly, the kind of skills that they are testing, all right, at least for the round one, okay, is it's almost common. It's just that the UCEED theory is quite intense, whereas in the in NID there is a good amount of focus on the design sketching and problem solving and creative thinking, right? However, having said that, even the UCEED, if you see this year, they have introduced an additional question. So additional drawing question. So there are two drawing questions, right? So one is the sketching part and the other is the problem solving part, right? So they have also increased the weightage for the creative expression, okay, apart from the objective type questions. Okay? So it is very, very important that you give due importance for all the aspects of the questions that they're asking in the exam. Okay. So if you look into the kind of classes that you are attending at this point of time, so you are attending theory or aptitude, okay, which happens online, and then you are doing the design sketching, advanced design sketching, and the material handling. All right. So each of these classes are very, very important. And in every class is designed in such a way that you learn something new or you polish your skill and you move forward. Okay. So it is very important that you attend these classes and make best use of them, right? If not, um, you may lose a great opportunity. You know, what is a common challenge for all the students who are giving this NID and UCEED exam? There is one common challenge all the students face. Can you guess what it is?
Time.
Time. Exactly. Each one of you guys have the same challenge, that is time, because you got to balance your 12th, right, boards, and also prepare for this exam. Okay. Now, those are the smart kids who are utilizing their time, okay, into the preparation of the NID or UCEED, right? If you are able to somehow um, make time and utilize time in the right manner, then you could be you could turn your weakness into advantage, right? Okay, so so let us start with the sketching part. Okay, so we'll be discussing about the sketching, the theory, and the material handling as well. So all these three we'll be discussing in this particular class. All right, because all three are equally important. Okay, so let us start with the sketching. Okay, so I would want you to give quick answers. I'm going to ask some questions to understand how much you know what you should be studying. All right, so I would want you to use the chat window to respond. All right. Okay, so can anybody tell? Oh, somebody is saying unable to hear anything. Reshma, is it still a problem? Is everybody hearing or not?
Yeah, I can hear you, Umesh, no problem.
Oh, okay, so Reshma Deshpande, so probably can somebody
We can hear
respond
you
to that?
now, Umesh. We can hear you now, no
Oh,
problem.
all right. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, right. All right. So my first question is, are you aware of the checkpoints for the sketching? How many of you are aware of the checkpoints for sketching? If yes, give me an answer. How many checkpoints are there for an ID? Give me a number. Is it 2? Is it 20? Is it 15? What is the number? How many checkpoints are there? Or just we're saying 14, 15? Any other number? Of course, the answer I have not given as an answer option. Okay, right. Okay, yes, Anika and Navya, 12. There are 12 checkpoints. Now, what are these checkpoints? Okay, see, over the years, we have created assignments based on the kind of difficulties students were facing. All right, so these were all sketching assignments, right? And then it has come to a point where the number of assignments have really swelled, and students were actually trying to make or attempt each of those assignments, and it was taking too long for them, right? So at that point of time, we have introduced these checkpoints, and we have made it as 12 checkpoints, right? For example, for perspective, okay, so perspective assignments, if you see, there could be at least 20 or 25 assignments, small assignments, okay, but there is a checkpoint, one checkpoint for perspective. If you are able to do that checkpoint nicely, then there is no need for you to do all those 25 exercises, okay, because this checkpoint will test you if you have understood the concept, if you have progressed well or not, right? And in this checkpoint, you have to ensure that you get more than 7, right? If you get more than 7, that means that you have understood the concept and you're good and you can move forward. If you get less than 7, so please talk to your faculty, understand where you are having a difficulty or where your concept understanding is not correct, and get it corrected and reattempt. Go back and do relevant exercises and do that, right? So we have introduced these checkpoints such that you can, let us say, you don't have to answer all the given number of quizzes, right, or the assignments. You can understand, maybe do 5, 6, and then do the checkpoint. If you are able to score well, you can move forward. Of course, if you have time, you are more than welcome to finish all those 25 or whatever number of assignments are there. Okay. Now, these 12 assignments or 12 checkpoints are for the fundamentals, to help you understand all the fundamental concepts of design sketching, right? Now, once you finish these 12 checkpoints, right, depending on the year or the month of the year, okay, we will be giving you certain kind of work. Okay, for example, if you have finished all the 12 now, all right, uh, you will be put on to certain advanced classes, okay, or past year question papers, asking past year question papers, and etc. etc. Okay, the objective of the timeline for finishing all these 12 checkpoints is October. By October, you should finish all these checkpoints because, as Sean said, in October we'll be having the exam readiness classes, where we'll be checking each of your concepts, understanding, and will help you to fine tune your understanding, number one, and then we'll be working on the timing aspect, right? So, um, in the chat window, can I know which checkpoint are you at this point of time? Are you at number one? Have you not started? Are you at number 12 or 6, 3? Okay. Okay, so I can see, yeah, 6, 7. If you are going for the 2025 exam, it is better if you are more than 8.
I don't know clearly know what the checkpoints are. Can you just tell me again?
Oh, is that so? Have you attended the orientation, Aryan?
Yes, sir, but I don't recall.
Oh, you don't recall? All right, so let me just quickly show. Okay, hold on. So this is for the benefit of all the students and parents who are here. You can quickly, Sean, I need a share screen sharing option. Sean, could you please give me the screen sharing option?
Yeah, just did.
Yeah.
Just can you see?
Yes, yes, I can see now. All right. Okay. Okay. So when you go to your profile, okay. So scroll down. Are you able to see my entire screen, or any blocks blocking the screen?
No, I can see the screen.
You can see it. Okay. So if you scroll down, you can see the PTM, Student Progress Gate. Click on that, and then you'll see design sketching checkpoints. And then these are the checkpoints that you should be doing or uploading, right? So everybody starts with checkpoint 1, which is their best personal work.
Objects in perspective.
You're in objects in perspective. All right, okay. But did you upload the perspective? Checkpoint 2?
I did 1, 2, 3 point I did.
No, no, no. I'm talking about the checkpoint 2 perspective. This is the question. Okay, if you go into there, so the question is draw.
Sir, I did this. I did these. I did these.
Did you upload them?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you got them evaluated?
Yeah.
Yeah, great, awesome. Okay, in fact, it starts with the checkpoint 1, which is your personal best. I would want each one of you to upload your work because our faculty are looking into it and kind of trying to understand where you are. Okay, it is important that you upload your work here. And then as you scroll down, you can also see the interesting works of all the students. So this could be a great inspiration for you to kind of motivate yourself and do more. Okay. All right. So this is the checkpoint that we're talking about. Okay. All right. So yes, finishing of checkpoints, then attending the exam readiness classes, then we'll be having special master classes. Okay. Master classes are like a quick revision of all that you have studied in a particular topic, and with also showcasing you some tips, tricks, and etc. All right. And then comes the very interesting thing. See, every Sunday, okay, so Sunday evening, for example, now, and also those, I mean, this is for the online students and those who are coming to the respective studios. So we have a advanced design sketching classes. So now what happens is when you are doing the basic sketching classes, you're understanding the concepts and etc. And sometimes you may feel that, okay, I'm learning all of this, but what is application? Where am I applying all this knowledge, right? So that is when you're actually doing some fundamental exercises in advanced classes like replication. Okay, let us say you're trying to draw a perspective drawing. That is where you can actually see the application. Oh, okay, I learned 1 point, 2 point, 3 point there. Now to create this particular kind of a street, now which point I should be using? Okay, how does the lines go? Where is the horizon line? Where is the eye level? Okay, now let us say you have drawn a street in a 1 point perspective with a normal human eye level, and let us say there is a person in front of you. Okay, how do I draw the person? So you are actually seeing a scenario and you are trying to replicate. That is where you can understand how whatever you're learning you're applying. Now what happens is, after doing certain number of the replication classes, you will be creating your own creations. So in the your own creations also, let me just take some examples to help you understand. Right, so design exam readiness. Okay, let us say replication and rendering, right? So let me just give you some examples. So you have many options to choose from. So probably an architecture student can be choosing a picture like this, or even a design student can also choose a picture. So depending on your interest. Okay, let us say one way of drawing this is, okay, just replicate and draw whatever is there. You make a Xerox copy of it. The other way of doing is, okay, understand, okay, where is the eye level? So here it seems that the eye level is somewhere over here. All right. And then where is the vanishing point? You have to identify where the vanishing point is and how the lines are going to, right? So practically you are learning all of this. And then you can actually see many students who have done the duplication work in their own way with the whatever capacity that they have. Is absolutely fine. Okay. And then what happens is, when you finish these kind of exercises, at a later point, we will be asking you to do your own creative work, right? So I'll show you some examples of your own creative work as well. So you can take a product or a fashion related accessory, or you can do a like a street scene or architecture related. So what happens in your own creative work is that now you see a similar reference. Okay, you see. Okay. Okay. All right. For example, we have seen the same picture in the replication work as well. But here, what happens is, since you have already drawn it, you know the geometry of the object, right? And you know the perspective, proportion, and etc. So when you're doing your own creative work, what you do is you do little changes to the object. Maybe you make it little more plumpier, okay, or you make this sprout more bulky or more streamlined, right? Or you can change the way the handle is designed, so you can probably have it more curved instead of straight, or maybe you can have a curve in this direction such that you can have a nice grip when you're holding it, right? So you can do such kind of a minor changes and create your own work. All right, so we can actually see some examples of what other students have done. Okay, so more are yet to load. Okay, loading. Okay, it's still loading. All right. Okay, you can also see this particular drawing, this spray bottle. So this student has taken. All right, you can look into this, or okay, for this. See, there are little changes that she has done. The student has done and created a new form, right? So completely new form. But she is learning from the replication work. So this is where your replication work. I mean, you can actually stretch your imagination, experiment, and etc. And all this work can directly go into your portfolio. All right. Okay. Yeah. So now the thing is, what I have been observing is that students do attend the advanced classes. Okay, but they begin, but they don't complete them properly. Okay, there's a lot of potential for you to do the entire work very nicely. Please utilize that time. All right. So the more serious you are about doing this work, the better your skills will improvise. Okay. So apart from that, we also have like every first Sunday, I think we have a NID test, right? All India mock test. So please attend those All India mock tests as well. Whether you know the concepts or not, whether no matter what level of preparation you are, even if you are at a zero level, please attempt the mock test to understand what kind of questions are asked, how the paper is structured, how yeah, I mean, and let us say you have learned certain concepts, then taking this AIM mock test will help you to understand how well you have understood those concepts and how well you're able to implement them. Okay. See, you got to understand that everything that is being designed for delivery in DQ Labs has a reason. And the other day, I just figured when I was talking to Sean that, you know, how old is DQ Labs? Can anybody take a guess? How old is DQ Labs? So we have been mentoring students that long. Okay. Can anybody take a guess how old? 18 years. Okay. Any other guess? You're getting closer. 18, 4 years. 4 years is not. That's very far away from the actual number. Okay.
So
18,
17 years.
17 years. Okay. So Sasha is closer. Sasha is closer. 20. It's more than 20 actually. So
It started from 2000.
we started DQ Labs when NATA exam was launched. In fact, we were the first to create study material and the mock exams, online mock exams for them. And this we started in 2006. 2006, right? And we are almost 22 years old. All right. So we have mentored so many students in the past. We have seen their problems, what challenges they were facing, how we can upskill them, all right? How we can make entire thing more interesting, more informative, more impactful. Impactful is something which we really look into because see, we understand as students we have limited amount of time. So with limited amount of time and limited amount of effort, how you can maximize your skills. That was our focus. And with that, we have put up the DQ labs and every year we have been innovating. We have been adding interesting material, very unique material, right? So it has grown to who we are right now, right? So whatever systems and processes and the number of classes and everything that we are delivering has a reason. And that's going to help you tremendously if you reciprocate with it, if you adapt and implement it. Okay. So this is an earnest request from me and Sean that utilize them nicely. Take every moment in DQ Labs very seriously and give your seriousness and dedication, and you can see very good progress. Okay, fine. So after this, I would want to all right. So I think there could be a small delay because I'm not sure my internet is good or bad, but I've been shown that my internet is little not stable. But anyway, whenever I get that message, I stop, I pause, such that you guys don't miss it. All right. Okay, now going to the
Please switch
theory
off your
part.
video, maybe that might help you with the
Yeah,
connection.
Sure. I'll switch off my video. All right. So it might improvise the connection. Okay. Okay. So there is a comment saying that, okay, Niranjan Bhai, Umesh sir, can you please share a paper so that the student can know the expectation? Absolutely, yes. So in fact, if you go to tests or exercises, okay, you can actually see the past year papers. All right. So you can look through these past year papers to understand how and what the questions are. Okay. So let us take the NID BDES 2024. I hope everything is updated here. Yes, I think all the questions are there. So now what we do is we digitize all these questions. Okay, all the theory part, you would have to answer it on the page, okay, on the website. And when you're answering it, we also capture certain information that is relevant to the question about your approach of answering the question, because it helps in two ways. Number one, it helps you to develop your understanding of your approach, whether it is working, not working, and etc. etc. For example, let us say if you come across a question that you're unable to answer, and let us say if you pick a random choice, you randomly choose one answer. At the end of the exam, you can actually see how many such random choices have been turned to correct. Okay, because this information is crucial, because let us say UCEED exam which has a negative marking. So when you come across a question and you need to make a choice, okay, should I random guess it or leave it, right? Or let us say you're opting for elimination and you have reached to a 50-50% chance of eliminating, right? Then you should take a call. Should I guess or just leave it? So that kind of a metacognition, it's called metacognition, which means understanding of knowledge of your own knowledge. How much do you know? What is the strategy that is working for you, etc., etc. So we have that kind of a method that we capture, and it is a patented technology. So let us quickly go through the theory part of 2024. Okay, so I think all the questions are not added here, but there are 3 questions. Okay, so one of the questions is, okay, how many wings does a dragonfly have? Can anybody know? Are you been observant? Can anybody guess? Dragonfly has how many?
6.
Okay, 6.
4.
Yeah, 6 or 4. Okay, so now you may be giving this answer either through knowledge or maybe guessing, elimination, right? Okay, yeah, if you eliminate 5 is definitely not, because you cannot have odd number of wings. So you're left with 4, 6, 2. If you have observed any time a dragonfly, you would know that okay, it's not 2 wings, it has maybe more than 2 wings, right? So you can eliminate 2, then you're left with 4 and 6. Now this is a point where you have to take a guess. 4 for sure, 6, I mean, it's doubtful. It could be 6 as well, but I'm not sure, right? 4 is definitely for sure 4. So, I mean, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help you understand how answering process of these objective type questions generally happen, right? Let us say I'm sure about 4 as an answer. So when I click on 4, I get these answer options, right? So how did I solve this question? So by knowledge, by elimination, or random choice. So in this case, it is kind of by knowledge. So I go for by knowledge, right? And then the next question comes. Now this is a system that we have used for DQH. In your actual NID or UCEED exam, this technology will not be there. All right. Okay. So let us just go with another question. What is demography? The statistical study of. Okay, what is the, I think there's a question. What is demography? The statistical study. Okay, what is demography, comma, the statistical study of, is it evolution, human population, sociology, or economics? Can anybody try? What is that?
The population.
Human population. And how did you come at the answer? Did
So
you-
I know the answer.
You know the answer. So, okay, fine. So this is through knowledge. Then, if you know the answer, then you will be choosing knowledge. Okay, knowledge. Okay, let us see. This is the last question. If you travel from Delhi to Bhopal and then Bhopal to Ahmedabad, then what direction you are traveling in from Bhopal? If you travel from Delhi to Bhopal, so from top,
So west.
bottom, all Bhopal, and then from Bhopal to Ahmedabad, Bhopal is here, Ahmedabad is here. Then what direction are you traveling
Sir,
in?
west.
Okay, west. So how did you arrive at the answer choice?
Sir,
What is it?
knowledge.
Knowledge, perfect, knowledge. Alright, so you choose knowledge, okay? And then you answer, right? Okay. So what happens is you get your answer immediately, okay? And you can actually see that I have basically used knowledge and formula to solve the problems. Okay, and very interestingly, a dragonfly has 4 wings, all right, not the 6 wings. Okay, so because whatever you're sure of, you have gone with that.
So what is the use of the flag option?
You flag it so that you can revise it later. All right. So in the exam, you can actually, if you flag a question, it gives a small mark, which means that when you're finishing all the answers, if there are any flagged ones, and if you have time, you can go back and you can check, recheck, reattempt that question. So that is what flagged is used for. Okay. Anyway, so score anatomy is there. So it shows 3 out of 3, all 3 are correct. And apparently I'm ranked number 1 out of 186 people. All right. Anyway. And then you can actually go through my answers and see how many wings does dragonfly has, and general knowledge questions. There are 2 general knowledge questions, and then one mental ability question. So you will be able to do this kind of an analysis if you use DQ Edge. If you are using, let us say, physical paper and etc., then you would not know, you would not be able to record this information and then analyze them. Anyway, so that is for section 1, right? Now let us take section 2. So in 2024, in 2024, there were 7 questions. Okay, so in fact, when you are doing the papers, we will be helping you to devise a time strategy for these questions, on what basis, how much time you should be spending for each of these questions. We'll be discussing them later. But now, just to give you an understanding of what kind of a questions you get in NID. Right? If a paper was folded and cut as per the figure given, when opened, what would it look like? So apparently there is it's a paper folding question. There will be an image. You have to follow the instructions in the image and then figure out how the unfolded figure would look like. Okay. Question number 2. Design a product to help people carry water in mountain regions. So this is a design problem solving question. And this is it. You can just observe how many marks are allocated. 12 marks. The first one was like 15 marks, right? Okay, let us go for question 3. illustrate how the product designed in question 2A would look in use. So here they're asking about design a product to help, all right, and then illustration of that particular problem is here. And this is for 8 marks. Then question 4. You have to draw 3 main processes to show. Okay, so potato to chips. How a potato is made to a chip, how a mango is made to a pickle, how from bees, okay, candles are made, and from shells, beads or jewelry are made. This is a very interesting question. This basically kind of assesses your observation of your environment, your curiosity, your imagination, right? So let us see, this is for 20 marks. So this is a very important question because it carries 20 marks. So you got to literally draw and show the process. Okay. And then question number 5. Design a room for either an old man or a child. Okay, so this is a design-based question. You got to really understand what are the requirements of an old man, what are the requirements of child. When you're talking about requirements, it's not only the physical requirements, the psychological, emotional requirements as well, right? And then question number 6. Okay, for the same room that was asked in 4E, pick any object in the room and illustrate in detail. Okay, again, your observation, detailing, ability to illustrate, perspective concepts, everything will come into play. All right. Question number 7. Again, for the object chosen in question 4B, improvise the design on it and write about it. Amazing. I really love the flow. Right. So first they're asking you to design a room for an old man or a child. Then they're saying take one of the object and detail it out nicely. And then they're saying how do you improvise the design on it. Amazing thought process, amazing question. Okay, so this is the kind of questions that you get in NID. Okay, I recommend you to go through the past year papers. It is easily accessible if you're all paid students, so you will get easy access to all the papers. All right. Okay, so that is about the the sketching and the question paper. How does it look like? Now let me just talk about the theory. Okay, the aptitude part, which is very, very important. Now, when we prepare you for the aptitude
Excuse me,
part,
sir.
yeah, go on. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, in the question paper that you were showing us previously. Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you are.
in the question paper that you were showing us before,
Yes.
in the where you had to like transform the objects, are we supposed to choose 3 of those processes, or do we do all of them and show 3 steps?
No, you got to show
informations?
all the important steps. You got to show all the important steps.
Oh, okay. So you're supposed to just pick 3.
Okay, all right. So,
I'm sorry. No, I think you didn't understand my question.
so okay, let me just repeat. So you are asking, should we pick one of them or should we do for all the 3? Is that the question?
Okay, I'll just answer the question.
Yeah. Go on, Sean.
Yes, question number 3, Umesh.
Question number 3?
Sorry, question number 4, I think. Hold on.
I think so.
No, 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
My question was if we had to pick 3 of them to do, or do we only have to show 3 processes in all of them?
Malvika, I'll answer your question. You have to show just 3 processes, which means that basically it's trying to see, look, it's very easy. It's very easy to show multiple processes or many processes, right? So if they're trying to limit you, they're saying, oh, with only 3, can you explain? Do you understand?
Yeah, I get it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And if you scroll down, you will see a lot of examples of students' work out there.
So there are 4 questions given. So we have to choose any one, or we have to do all 4.
I think they had to do all the 4 here. I mean,
seems like they have to do all the 4, but for each of them,
all the 4.
3 main processes. Yeah.
Yeah. Means technically, if you, Malvika, to answer your question, technically, if you do 4 or more, you're wrong. You understand, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Sir,
So, yeah, go ahead.
for the sketching part, am I expected to finish all the 7 questions in 1.5 hours? Because there's always the timer saying 1.5 hours, and I'm never able to finish it in 1.5 hours.
Okay, Kirtana, that is the big to finish all the questions in in the time you actually, no, you don't have to finish it. Anybody be able to tell me? Kirtana, can you tell?
2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours, 15 minutes or something.
Okay. For drawing.
70 and 30. 70 for sketching and 30 for theory.
30 for drawing, correct? Now, in fact, your 30 marks, you generally finish very fast, okay? They give you the same booklet and it's up to you. You finish your theory and you go to your drawing, okay? So most students can finish their theory in 30 minutes, max 45 minutes. You understand?
Yeah.
Which means you have at least 2 hours, 15 minutes for the remaining seven questions. You understand? For the 70 marks. It varies every year. Some year it is 70, some years it is 70-30, some years it is 60-40. Okay, but it's around that. It's not set. They keep changing slightly. Okay, maybe 2 years they'll go 70-30, 70-30. Next year they'll go 60-40. Okay, but even if they go 60-40, you can finish it in 45 minutes. It doesn't take you too long to finish theory. Either you know it or you don't know it. But like say, for example, if you get a question, literally you can answer in 30 seconds, right? You can finish it fast. So assuming for now, you will have 2 hours, 15 minutes, okay? Not basically, I'm trying to give you an approximate amount of time. Now, let's say you have 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yes, the answer is should you answer all the 7 questions? Yes, obviously. All those who answer the 7 questions, your chances are higher. Therefore, you must learn how to draw fast. That's why I keep saying daily practice, daily mannequin sketches, environment sketches, human, animal, because you should increase your speed. That's the only way you will be able to achieve this. And also you must be doing storyboarding, like lots of storyboarding and really fast. You should increase your speed. We will learn all these techniques in your October sessions, right? How to draw fast, how to manage your time. We will be doing a lot of speed sketching classes over there. But till then, what you all must do is at least finish all the fundamentals before that, as well as practice your daily sketches that we have been asked, that we tell you over and over again. I think one student asked specifically about daily sketches towards the end of the session. Quickly, I will show you where it is. But also we will give you detailed breakup on, there will be another session for this, detailed breakup on how you, per 10 marks, how much time you have, how you should go about it, and how you draw your how do you draw your work in layers. Okay. But yes, the answer is you have to answer all of them in that 2 hour 15 minutes.
So how much detail are we expected to finish each question in? Because you can't like beautify the thing if you have only 2 hours, 15 minutes, right?
We will go into very specific examples. Also, like say, for examples, even past years toppers, we have some of their work, how much they have, how much they are able to do in the amount of time. You understand, right? We will be going through with examples in these speed session classes. So you will understand exactly how much to do, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a question from Niranjan Bhai as well asking about the time management. So all these time management aspects will be covered in detail when we reach that particular point. All right. Because that itself is a good 1.5 hours of session. So let us save that for a later date. Okay. So today we are looking into a strategy for preparation. Okay, I suggest that we'll focus on that, and we'll go into the details later on during subsequent interactions and sessions. Right? Okay. So, see, the theory part is very, very important. Now, I just want to uh, give you an overview of how many um, questions, quizzes, databases, and etc. we have with us for you for practice and studying and etc. etc. All right. So, can you guess how many topics that you should be studying for the exam? Right. So, of course, there are about 8 broad topics, but there are subtopics. Can anybody take a guess on how many topics are there? Give me a number, approximate. So Pranav is saying 65. Okay, a little bit higher than 65. Okay, 72, 70, go even further high. More. So there are about 95 topics that a design aspirant should be studying through. And all these topics are there on DQ Edge. Now, where do you access all of them from? When you go to learn, okay, so yeah, broadly there are about 8 topics, but let us say if you click onto them, okay, and these are the subtopics. So all the subtopics are listed, and there are about 95 topics that you should be studying through. Okay, and can you take a guess how many quizzes are there? Total number of quizzes. For example, if you go to blood relations, let us say there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So Mahika is saying about 105, almost 80% more. Okay, 150 plus. So there are about 181 quizzes at your disposal. Okay, so you have to go through all those 181 quizzes. Okay, and any guess on how many mock tests do we have? So total practice tests that we have that you can practice. This includes the mock tests, the past year questions, past year papers, AIM mock tests, etc. Okay. Oh, somebody got a very right on answer. Maitri is saying 150. Ojasvi is saying 151. Yes, we have 151 tests for you to do. Now, why I'm giving these numbers is, okay, just see the amount of data that is there for you to access and practice. Okay, so you have to make time for all of this. Okay, so please focus for number one, how you can access all this. number one, do not miss any of the classes, because in each of the classes we'll be covering the theory, and we'll be doing few questions, and then we'll be giving you links for completing that practice test. That is number one. And secondly, you make more time apart from the classes that you attend at DQ, right? Maybe in a day, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours, whatever time you can dedicate, and channelize all your energies in making these quizzes, answering these quizzes. Very important. All right. Okay. So that's for the theory. All right.
Excuse me, sir. I have a
Yes.
doubt.
Yes.
Sir, why can't we access the paper, the exam in AIMM mocks after 1 day, sir? Like, why is it only for time period? We can't
Yeah,
access.
there is there are different kinds of practice tests that are available. Okay. Some you can access any point of time. Some we have made it to be accessed only at a particular point of time, because we want that discipline. We want you to structure your entire life in such a way that you attend these sessions at particular time of the week or month, and etc. If you miss it, you miss it. Right? So do not miss them. Of course, having said that, all the past year papers, all the mock tests, they're all accessible for you all through the year. Only the aims we have made it to be very specific, to be open on a particular day for a particular amount of time. And it's not just, okay, it's a 3-hour test. It's not that it is accessible only for the 3 hours. It is accessible in the entire day. Right? Okay. So you make time. You got to be serious and allocate time for taking them. Okay.
Sir, I have another
Yes.
question.
Yes.
So, speaking on the basis of timeline,
Yeah.
For the 2025 batch, by when should we be done with the quizzes, the mental ability and all of those?
October.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
October.
sir.
All right. Yeah. So that's your target. So try to put in so much of effort and try to finish them. Okay. Okay. Right. So I know some of the students are asking, okay, they need to have more time for accessing the aims and etc. But see, some things in life happens only once or twice. All right. So NID exam you can give only once in a year, not twice. You may want to have it twice, but it's not possible. So so that is a constraint that you have to work around. Okay. Fine. So now let me talk about the third aspect of preparation, which is the material handling. Okay.
Umesh, before
yeah,
we move to that, I just wanted
yes,
to know how many like question papers do the children need to answer by October before your crash course starts? Or whatever?
right. So so it depends on how much time they have, how much time investment they're able to dedicate. All right. See, but what will happen is, once the exam readiness classes are finished in October, after that, almost every week we'll be having a mock test or a practice test. Right? And if the student is having time, we'll be giving more tests for them to do. Okay. And there will be a time where every day they'll be doing a mock test. Right? Yeah. Sure. Go ahead.
Yes. To just add to that, madam, a student. Now, here's what I highly recommend from a strategy point of view. I highly recommend that every student takes at least a minimum of 2 NID tests or 2 and 2 UC tests right away, even if they have not even started studying. Okay, now what sense does that make? So you may ask, okay, they have not even started studying. Why should they take a mock test? Not mock test, the actual past year's papers test. 2 NID and 2 UC. It's because it's not to see how good or bad you are at the test. It is for the student to study the test. Because let's say, for example, I go and take a 2023 mock, the actual past year paper and the 2022 actual past year paper on DQ Edge. me as a student, I should study and understand, oh, these are the type of questions being asked. These how difficult they are. This is the range. This is what I know. This is what I do not know. It's like you're studying the paper. Once you've taken at least a minimum of 2 and 2, right? Study, be a regular practice. It's more like, you're looking at the overall mental map. When you look at the actual past year paper, you're looking at the actual map. Oh, where am I going? What am I doing? What am I studying? So when you study on a regular basis, it makes more sense. Let us say the students, there is the aim or the practice mock tests that we have and the actual past year papers. These are two different things. Okay. The aim, the students should take every time it is there, you have to take the test. There's no two ways about that. Like we said, it's only accessible for that day. The actual past year papers, let's say, even if you've not done more than 2 + 2, 4, it's okay, no problem. In October, as soon as the design exam readiness exam is over, we will be doing these tests on a regular basis. All these tests will be done, and they will get feedback sessions and corrected sessions. They can discuss with us. It will be done after October. But if a student wants to do it in advance, you can, not a problem. You want to do more than 4. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's okay. So basically, up to then, you're saying that she has to answer all the quizzes and all the other, sections which are there in your portal.
Yes. By September end, ideally, you should finish your entire theory and your drawing at least once. You should, along with 2 actual past year papers, 2 NID papers, 2 UCEED papers, which I recommend you do first, right?
Okay. And this is over and above your Sunday AIMS tests, which you...
Yes. This is over and over. The AIM test is not the actual past year papers. It's simulated tests, practice tests with questions from different, like say from different others examination schools, IIT, and it's simulated papers. Whereas the past papers are what actually came previously in the past years.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sean, so this is Anand, Malvika's father.
Yes.
A question is that in case, because this is you are uploading every year's question papers as well as the solutions, I guess. Do you think that there is likelihood of a progression of the syllabus as well as there is going to be some shifts, you think, in the coming year's exams?
When you say shift, do you mean shift in the pattern or shift in...
Yeah, shift in the curriculum as well, or you think that whatever is on the website is now sufficient and that is what is going to be replicated in coming years?
Okay. See. Okay, I'll have to answer this question in two sessions. Number one is usually there's UCEED generally is very fixed, and UCEED, when they come out with the brochure online, you will be able to go to the IIT Delhi website brochure. You will get the exact, what they say is exactly what they will give. Like they will give you the exact breakup. They will say, like say previously it was say 240 for drawing and 60 marks, 240 theory and 60 marks drawing. It will come exactly. Or if they change it to 200 drawing and 100 marks theory, they're going to tell you in advance, and it'll be in black and white in the brochure, which will be released in October, right? For the UCEED. NID, that's not the case. NID, they will give you an approximation, and generally it varies between 70-30 or 60-40 year on year. That is one part of variation. To answer your question, I'm answering it in 2 parts. The second part of variation is the syllabus itself. Okay. Now, in this also, the creative part and the theory part. Okay. The creative part, yes, there will be variations. There are always slight extensions, surprises year on year. And for that, not only do we practice on the past year's papers, we also always practice a little extra, and we also tell them to even expect something more, right? So subjective thinking is once you've gone through the entire set of exercises that we do, that is all your all the creative thinking exercises, design problem solving exercises, you will learn how to, if something new is thrown at you, how to also answer that question. You will learn. Okay, you should be able to think fast, adapt fast, answer fast. Now, this is for the NID. For UCEED, again, it is quite fixed, because even in the drawing, they give you an explanation, and it is more or less within that. But however, last year, UCEED also has opened it up. They have also called it as design aptitude. Now, once they say design aptitude, it means open-ended, right? So the answer is you can expect such a variation there, but we will cover all the variations and even more for the subjective drawing, creative thinking part. Now, when it comes to theory, theory also, generally UCEED theory is a little more, obviously, not a little more, a lot more tougher, a lot more load to study with as compared to your NID theory. NID theory is easier, simpler. UCEED is a lot more difficult. Can you get variations? Can you get some new type of questions? The answer is yes, you can. So therefore, yes, you have to be well practiced, and also so sometimes I also give extra books to study from. Like I do not know if Jyoti Madam in the previous classes has explained. You can even, besides Edge, you can even go and study from the Arihant book. I'll paste 3 links in the chat. It's an Arihant book for verbal reasoning. Philip Carter, again, for mental ability, verbal reasoning. And also there's a website called brilliant.org, which you can go and get extra practice questions. Generally, Edge has a lot of questions, but I'm saying you can get more from here as well for additional practice. But answer is yes, you can expect any variations, because these are meant to be open-ended exams. May not be too much of variation in NID, but you can expect variations from theory in UC. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Also, sir, I'm sorry, but just one more question.
Sure.
Do you recommend any books for sketching, like self-study?
Books for sketching, just stick to Edge. It's more than enough. All the possible resources you can get in the particular area, because you won't need more than this. I mean, a student asked me, okay, maximum you can go for some basic art. Basic art you can, there are so many books out there for basic human. Okay, like if you break it up into art, still life, graphic, abstract graphic, creative thinking, design problem solving, creative thinking, you're not going to get anything beyond Edge. Edge is the best source out there. But your simple art, like say, for example, say human or still life, there are a lot of basic books you will get for art and drawing or texturing and things like that. But even Edge has got a lot of resources. So you can go for general books, any general art books, but again, it will cover only that section. But the rest of it, like say, for example, pictograms and gestural principles and all, and how you apply, that's all put together only in Edge. You will not really get them in. What you can do is read the topics in Edge, and you can go online and search, or say gestural principles. Okay, you want more about that in design, you can search online more for that, but you're not going to get it all in one book anywhere else. However, for theory, these are the extra books. I'll just paste the links out there, so you can use that for theory additionally. Does it help?
Yep, thank you, sir.
So I had a doubt. So like I solve the like exams and everything that come every week. So like the NID AIMS papers and everything. And one thing I noticed was that the GK questions that come, they're very diverse. Like it stretches all the way from fashion to like just like basic technological and current affairs. So I wanted to know how we could like study all of that and like get a brief grasp of everything, because we're not really sure what type of questions could come. And the content that's there in DQ Edge also, it's like a lot for, studying together. So can you like tell us how we can study for that?
Yes, Ashi, I can do that.
Same question for me.
Okay, good. That's a good question on GK. Before I answer that question, somebody had asked, where can I get additional resources for your daily sketch practice? Are you all aware of the DQ Labs Pinterest page? How many are aware of the DQ Labs Pinterest page?
Sir, it's in the basic design part. The last part is the daily sketch. So
just a second. Okay, everybody, please look at your chat box. You would get a link of the DQ Labs Pinterest pages. In that, I will answer your question on GK. We'll come back to that, but somebody had asked me this before. I just want to give you these links before we go ahead. So you can see this link here, human management. Hold on.
So the product design concept case sketches, that link doesn't open.
Okay, you're saying it doesn't open. I'll check on it. Okay, we'll come to that. So you have a human mannequin. Okay, Umesh, can I share my screen?
Yeah, Sean, please go ahead.
Yeah. So let's say, for example, I click on this Pinterest, the Pinterest link. Can you see here, saved boards, right? And I go down. So why have I created this link? Because a lot of students say, okay, can you show me examples, where to draw, how much to draw, what to draw? So if you go here, this is your daily, can you see these human mannequins? Now, so a lot of students make a mistake here. When you draw humans, they go into advanced humans, right? That's not really how you first have to master this basic human. Can you see this basic human in simple box?
We are seeing your Zoom screen. Zoom.
Okay. I will share. Hold on. Okay, can you see the Pinterest screen now that I'm sharing? Okay. So can you see here simple mannequin sketches, simple sketches, right? So this is what you need to master first. Yeah, this is a perfect example, like what you see on my screen, right? This is what you need to master. If you're good in this, the rest of it comes very easily, it comes, you're able to complete this human form easily. But this is what you need to master, this level, right? Not advanced, more than this, this level, stick figure, and then this basic human mannequin sketches. Now, if you see here, so your best kind of sketches generally would you should study like yoga, gymnastics, sport, dancing, karate, right? Difficult poses. And you have to draw, you literally per day, you have to draw nothing less than 10. I mean, every single day. Now, only that will, like I said, it builds up a database in your mind. It builds up speed, right? Is what you need to do, what you need to practice. Now, once you practice these sketches, okay, let me share another screen. You are supposed to, you're not only supposed to draw it, you are supposed to upload your work, okay? Because later in October, we will ask you for your work, or even on a regular basis, we will ask you for your work. So you need to go to design exam readiness, you need to go to, for those of you who do not know, design exam readiness here, advanced human, advanced animal, advanced character. So you go here and you have different kind of exercises. Human mannequin in pose, human expression, human hands, feet, humans in action, foreshortening, and a lot of different exercises. You must upload here. So can you see there are 10 different places to upload your daily sketches? And like I said, each question has 3 uploads. That is upload, revision 1 and revision 2, right? So, and if you can scroll down, you will be able to see a lot of students practicing. So if you have, these are one things that we check. And if you have not practiced, it's not good if you don't. It will be good for you if you practice. Now, also keep in mind, there's a lot of, so try and have a variation, right? I mean, if you stick only to human mannequins, again, you'll be tired. Have a variation to mannequins, animals, character. Characters also are very interesting. Characters in action, character expressions. If you have a variation, see, okay, like this is these are beautiful examples. Can you see this? See, like mermaid characters, right? Or any kind of, especially like Zootopia kind of characters, if any of you all have kind of studied, so these kind of characters. So you must practice this variation, right? This is helpful. This is to do with your daily sketch practice, and I've sent you all the links of where you can get them, or not only just the Pinterest pages. Even if you go under here itself and scroll to the bottom, you can still get a lot of examples. How many of you all have noticed in the classrooms also physically it's drawn on the wall? Have you all noticed that? So in fact, I've literally drawn in the walls there on an A4 sheet of paper how much you can draw. I do not know if how many of you all have noticed that. How many of you all have noticed that in class in Bangalore? They're there in all the centers. Have you all noticed it?
Yeah, sir. In Whitefield branch, there is.
Yes, it's there. It's there. Okay, fine. So you can actually go on the wall and physically see it, right? And you can get an understanding. Okay. Now I will also, like I said, I will come back to the GK part of the thing. I will just post those books that I was talking about, the links to those books. In fact, Jyoti has been explaining and giving all these links in the past. So those who have,
yeah, it is uploaded on Edge as well, Sean. We can ask, we can ask Jyoti ma'am to probably share that link to everyone on WhatsApp and also by email.
Okay. The links of the books.
Everything, all of this is accessible on Edge.
Yeah. Okay. So you have the links as well, all there, and so you can access that. Just one more thing I want to explain to them on the GK. Somebody asked me a question on GK. I'll just explain that, and then we can go ahead. Just give me a minute. Okay, we'll go ahead. Okay, so 1 minute, I'll share my screen again. Okay, sharing my screen now. If you go under, who was that who asked me the question on GK? Who was that? Could you just unmute again? Starting with A, I think your name is starting with A. Who was that?
Sir, Avni Balsara.
Avni, yeah, okay. So Avni, have you seen the 23 list of topics for GK and Edge?
Yes, sir, I have mostly completed already. But
Okay.
still, I'm not that much confident on GK because it's very diverse.
Okay, wait. I will explain a logic. I will explain the logic to this. Hold on. So here you have this list of topics. Can you see this? General knowledge list of topics here, right? I mean, for the rest. So there are 23 list of topics here, 23. So what are these? What does this mean? Now, this is like a backbone structure for you, okay? This 23 list of topics. So what we did is we studied all the past year's papers, CEED, NID, UG, and PG. If you see, GK is common amongst UG and PG. You can actually go these 23. We broke them down into topics to see what are the different topics that they cover, right? So you actually go into here, into any of these sections, and you'll get the actual questions asked in the past years. So you'll know what kind of GK questions they're asking, right? Now, let me explain a basic logic to this, okay? So if you look at this, it's more very specifically at GK, only at GK, okay? It's like this. There is a predictable section and there's an unpredictable section, okay? Now, what does that mean? A predictable section is artists and their works, international artists, Indian artists, types of Indian paintings, color theory, basic photography, performance arts, types of Indian performance arts, musical instruments, people around, famous people around performance arts, film, all these film technology, cartoon technology, frames per second and things like that. Photography. So there's a lot of these things which are very predictable, means there is a finite set. Yes, of course, it's vast, but there's a finite set which you can actually study, right? And go through over and over again. Like, say, for example, if I'm going through photography, I can say, oh, what is shutter speed? What is ISO? Or, what is white balance or anything like that? Temperature. These are all very specific things that you can learn, and you can see examples. You can go on YouTube, watch some videos, and see things. So if you study these, which are very, very predictable, right, you can get 70% for sure on your general knowledge. However, yes, 30% is open-ended. I agree. Like, say, for example, they will say, what's the full form of UPI or something like that. Something which you're sort of expected to know on a day-to-day basis with the world around you. So they can be an open-ended, or it can even be something to do with the news which is happening on a day-to-day basis. Yes, that is a little more difficult to study. It helps to at least browse newspapers, look at the headlines, see what's happening, especially keep in touch with any artist or performance artist who has expired that year. For example, Mario Miranda, the Goan cartoonist, died. One question came about him. There was another, any other one or two performance artists died. Some really famous performance artists died, violinists or whatever, Indian violinists, especially Indian-based performance artists. Tends to come in the paper, or any kind of international news which is quite common, or national news which is of importance. Sometimes they can ask, but this comes under the 30% variation. But the point is, at least the 70% you should crack, right? And if you can do that as much as you can from the 30% is good. Yes, it is very difficult to study that all. You cannot study it all, but please understand, if it's difficult for you, if you're putting a sincere effort, it is difficult for everyone. So everybody's on the same page there. But yes, of course, you should put in your effort. Does that help understand?
So one more thing, like current affairs also, how do we keep up with like what's relevant to the design exam versus like general news? Because, and like things like, for example, like Cannes Film Festival just happened right now, and Nancy Tyagi went viral, things like that. So do we keep up with only specific things like that, or just general current affairs? What can we expect coming for the exam?
See, generally, like I said, it can be design related, film festivals, any kind of music, art, film, music. You understand, right? Generally, something, some famous painting has been sold for a very expensive price, right? It comes in the newspaper. So yes, these are something you should definitely look at. But there are some things like which are general in nature. For example, there is a Sikh temple on the Pakistan side of the border that was in the news that came. You understand, right? So sometimes you can get information like that, right?
Okay.
Question based on that. So, but that's like very difficult to catch. But answer is, if you're in the habit of at least glancing a newspaper every day, it's good for you also personally. At least glance the headlines, because these will come in almost on the main pages, the page 1 or page 2, right? Basically, Pakistan initially gave a problem on accessing the Sikh temple because they have free access to it. So that issue came in the, I mean, it was there for a short while and then they opened it or whatever. But the whole point is, it's there, that came in the news, okay? And that was asked to give you a kind of an example of what kind of questions can be asked. Go ahead, next question.
So I have one more question. Sir, NID and UCEED GK are very distant, means that NID it's like organic and in UCEED it's mechanism based. Like in the past years, how they used to cut the nut cutter and which mechanism was relevant. So how we are going to cope up with that type of question, because there is no source of learning that.
Sorry, could you repeat that, Avni?
Yes, sir. Sir, NID and UCEED GK questions are very distant. UCEED is based on mechanism of the tools that old people used to do, ancient people. So they ask like which one is more efficient and like that. So how can we cope up with that type of questions?
Okay, so mechanism of tools, basically it's more like a mechanical, like where's the fulcrum and things like that. There was a question like that. For example, they will give you, I think I know what you're talking about. The question is they're giving you images of 4 different nut cutting things and asked you.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Correct. Okay, that is not like GK. That's more like it's more like an aptitude. Aptitude meaning you should be able to see that and kind of guess it. What I'm trying to say is, let's say, for example, if I have a lever, right, big stone, I have a small stick and I have a big stick, right? And I'm using a small stick with the fulcrum and I'm using a larger stick. Which do you think will be easier? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, I'm getting it.
So if I take a largest, okay, let's say there's a big boulder, right? I have a larger stick. Of course, I use a stone there, and I have a smaller stick, which is lesser effort for me. Could you answer?
Larger stick.
That's your answer. It's as simple as that. It's more logic, visual. It's visual logic, and it's more like a logical question rather than a GK question. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, got that. Thank you, sir.
That particular question that you're talking about is logic. It's not GK.
Sir, there are
that images they're showing you, because they've shown you actual pictures of old nut cutters, right? It looks like a GK question, but it's not.
And sir, the chairs are also like the center of gravity, which is the most stable, like that question.
Anyway, we'll come. Listen. Let's not get into very specific questions because then it'll go too long into that. Okay. Now please understand, we will have different kind of classes to break this all down. Like I said, different class for how do you manage your speed, how to manage in the details and specific in GK, we'll go into that. I want to give you an overview now, so that at least you'll understand, okay, these things are there. You can make notes of the overview, right? Very specific details we will go into later. In fact, we will go into such specific details as to, we'll tell you how to see, oh, this question is 10 marks. How much time do I have to answer? This question is 5 marks. How much time do I have to answer? And how far should I be? How I should answer it in like first run, second run, third run. It's not like, oh, I have 3 questions or 6 questions. I finish 1 question completely. I go to the second, finish completely, go to the third. No, that's not your strat. That's not the way you go about it. You always finish 60%, put the frame in place. Then you go to the next thing, and then last you do all the shade shadow texture for all the questions, because at least you have it down. We will go into individual strategies, okay, into more detail. But right now, from a GK point of view, what I'm trying to say is this is where you are. What is very, very predictable GK, what is unpredictable GK, and areas that could help you. And we can discuss that more in detail later, okay? Because we won't have time to cover anything else. We'll keep it for open questions a little later on. Umesh, is there anything you want to continue?
Right, Sean, just wanted to brief on the material handling classes that are happening. Okay, so I want to discuss on how they should be looking at these classes and what they should be doing. Okay, so first thing they need to understand that these are not craft sessions. These are not craft classes like you go to an art teacher to do some craft work and etc. Absolutely not. What you are supposed to do is understand the properties of the materials and look for ways to manipulate the material to change its properties or leverage its properties to create something very interesting. Okay, so how we have organized these classes is that you have about 10 to 12 basic material classes, okay, which kind of repeat after every day. I mean, the classes go on from, let us say, paper to wire, right? And once the wire is done, we start off with paper again. So once you finish these 12 classes, you will be put onto the advanced material handling classes, where you will be given a particular topic or a theme and certain material list. You have to use those materials, manipulate them to create something that represents the topic. So again, this is not a craft session, all right? If you look into a craft session, then you will not find anything interesting. You will say, okay, this I'll also do at home. What's the big deal, right? But if you look into as a material manipulation exercises, there is so much to explore, so much to share, so much to learn from others that you are discussing. All right. So when we are looking at the material handling, few things you should be giving due attention to. This you will be learning in each of the basic materials that you are working with. All right. All right. For example, a particular material, how do you cut it? For example, paper, how do you cut it in a very nice manner? If it is cloth, how do you cut it? If it is cardboard, how do you cut it? Thermocol, how do you cut it? So cutting is very, very specific and different for each of the materials. Once you know the technique of cutting, then you can cut them very nicely. The second aspect you look into is how do you join them? For example, how do you join paper to paper? How do you join paper to cloth? I'm sorry, because yesterday. How do you join paper to wire? Okay, so generally people think that okay, when you have to join two materials, okay, you use glue. That's a natural process, thought process, right? Okay, how do you join two materials without use of glue? Then you are actually exploring paper to paper, joining them without the glue. Okay, like two different materials or materials of the same nature. Okay, that is joinery. And I also notice and I also highlight whenever I see this with whoever does. See, some people use sellotape to join the materials, and then the joint looks very, very unsightly, right? In a very polished manner. It doesn't look good. Okay, but if you carefully think and be creative, you need not use a tape and create a very nice joint. Even if you are using tape, the sellotape, you can you can join the materials in such a way that the sellotape is not visible, right? So these are certain things that you have to look into: cutting, joinery. The third important thing is the structure of your model. All right. So whenever you're making a model, there are multiple approaches. Of course, the NIFT requires a different approach. NID requires a different approach. In NID, you're looking at the structural beauty, the structural aesthetics. Okay. One example I would like to give is Santiago Calatrava. Okay, so Santiago Calatrava is a civil engineer, but he does fantastic buildings. I'll just show you some examples. Okay. So what is the beauty of his structures is that they use the structure itself as the design element, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Now you look at these buildings that he has designed. He has designed bridges, buildings, beautiful ones, right? Now, if you look into this particular, let us say, this particular building, okay, any of his buildings, okay, every element has an important role to play in the structure. If you remove one element from that particular building, it will collapse. Right? So look at how beautiful the structure is, right? So when you are building any of your 3D models, you should be giving due attention to the structural beauty. Other way of making a model beautiful is by adding embellishments. Okay, but the most appropriate way of making the structure beautiful is looking into the how you are designing the structure, right? So these are the three things that I would want you to look into, right? The the cutting, the joinery, and the structure of your model, right? And then the other important thing is finishing your model within the time limit. I see some students, they have a great, fantastic concept, but in terms of the execution, they're unable to finish that. Okay, of course, with practice, you'll get to know how to do that. But then your idea has to be how you can finish within the time. Okay, and please take a nice picture of that and upload it on DQ Edge. And go on to DQ Edge. Once you upload, look into the other students, how they have approached the same problem, right? And try to comment on their work such that once you comment at least to 4 or 5 students and everybody does that, you also receive comments naturally. And that is the peer learning system that we have on DQH. So the beauty of it is you may be sitting in Chennai or maybe in Delhi or maybe in UAE, but you have access to the thought process and the models and the skills done by a student who's, let's say, studying in Bangalore or in DQ labs, right? So right, so this is regarding the material handling. Please make use of these facilities nicely, and please do not miss any of the class, and do a good job. And in this context, I would like to say that the recently I have observed that the Whitefield students are doing some marvelous job. Okay, and I have seen the progression, how they were doing before and how they were doing now. In fact, almost 30 to 40% of the students are able to finish within the time limit, and their models are also beautifully done. Beautifully done. Really appreciative of their work, and I wish all the students who are attending this take inspiration from these students and do a good job in material handling. Okay, and please think, if you are feeling that you're not learning something new in material handling, then your approach is wrong, because every class gives you an opportunity to push your limits, push your skills, push your thought process, and share that with the friends and the people who are monitoring and mentoring. All right. Okay. So with that, I think we have extended our meeting by almost half an hour. So with that, if anybody has any questions, please do ask. We'll take 1 or 2 questions. We shall be having similar kind of sessions in the future as well. Please do attend and make use of them. All right. Yeah, sure.
I have somebody has asked for it. I've posted the links of the books in the chat.
Yeah.
So I'm posting it again. So you can see there are some. There's a book on Arihant, Philip Carter, NTSC, SAT, Mensa. I've just written it there. You can take any book from NTSC, SATs, Mensa, basically the aptitude part. Brilliant.org and Manorama GK yearbook. Okay, it's like a mini library you can have. Now the Manorama yearbook is vast. It's like a fat book. All of it is not relevant. What you have to do is how you study it is you go to the edge, see the 23 topics, and from those topics you refer the Manorama book. I hope you have understood that. Because if you just go read the whole Manorama book, you'll spend so much of time and you're not, that's not very smart. You're not going to get good marks. You're going to be very specific on the topics you pick and only those topics, not just Manorama. You can even refer the internet or anything like that. Any questions? Now we leave it open. Any questions, like Umesh said, we can quickly answer.
Yes, sir. I have a question regarding the basic sketching part or the design sketching part. It is that besides the normal quizzes which come after the learning of the main topic, there are some exercise given before the quizzes in most topics. Now, once you've learned the concept, is it really imperative that you practice these exercises as well? Are they actually helpful?
Could you repeat? You're saying you're talking about the drawing part in Edge.
Yes, in the basic sketching part, design sketching. Over there, there's many different topics like perspective, object and perspective, and so on.
Okay, understood. Okay.
Interior, exterior. So, and these have quizzes, which are like the assignments that they have to finish and upload.
Yes.
But before these assignments, there are small exercises inside the modules themselves.
Okay. That's just for reference. Don't worry, that's just for reference. Possibly some of them have videos and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of them have videos. You can watch that and practice, but whatever exercises are given, you can upload that. Those are to test.
Is it really imperative that we have to mandatorily do the small questions?
If you're talking about those little modules and explanations and videos before, yes, you can practice them on the side. You can practice them on paper. But whatever is there to upload, you can upload that because it's uploaded sections tells us exactly what you've understood.
Okay. So once you have finished uploading everything, do you really need to go back and then just do the other ones?
Yes, you can.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Right. Like I was saying, like we said, this is just an overview, right? Please don't miss the future sessions. We'll be very specific to certain topics, very specific to much of what we have discussed here, because obviously we will be going into detail. So don't miss any future sessions as well.
Sir, I have one last question. I'm not sure if you already answered this, but like right now I've finished most of the basic sketching work and I am currently also practicing the advanced sketching questions and everything. But I wanted to know, like for exams and all, when the questions come, like for example, one of the questions was you are overseeing a city as a witch on a broomstick. So a question like that. How do we find how do we have practice memory drawings in such a way that our work is unique? Because a lot of times when I'm practicing it and we see other people's work, where either a basic idea of what the picture should be like comes in our brain, and there's no unique perspective to it. So how do we find those unique perspectives to practice memory drawing?
Okay, let's not call it memory drawing because more like a sketch, a theme sketch. So a particular theme is given, right? So there are certain ways to go about it. Okay, there are certain parameters. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Just keep it. Okay. Just share my screen. I'll explain one parameter and then I'll just kind of tell you the other parameters. So I'll give you a brief, but we will discuss this in detail. See, all of y'all, your questions, please write them down when we are doing, when we'll come to class, advanced sessions. If your questions are not answered here, obviously we'll not be able to answer all questions here. You can answer them in detail, okay? But write them down, note them down in case we're not able to answer it, okay? Can you see my screen here, Ashi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's look at one drawing very specifically, okay? Okay, now let's have a look at this one, okay? Okay, can you see the top? Okay, can you see the top and the bottom sketch? Okay, see, one of the parameters is like, let's say, for example, foreground, middle ground, background, okay? So what do I mean by this? Middle ground is possibly the subject where you are that you're focusing on. Foreground is something very close to you, like
Sir, I'm so sorry for interrupting, but we can't see the photo. It's just a thumbnail.
Oh, okay. No. That's a good thing that you're telling me, because sometimes when you're sharing a specific window. And okay, can you see now a drawing that's on? Can you see the graphic?
Yeah, we can see it now. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So this was and this is an NID question, a past year question. So the question is, there is a person sitting under a tree and is thinking. And looks at a pumpkin and looks at a jamun on a tree, right? And says, and question God's wisdom, like, a pumpkin is a big fruit that should be on a tree, and a jamun is a small fruit that should be on a plant or a creeper that's on the ground, or a vine, or basically a plant on the ground. And it's like, how come he got it reversed? Such a big fruit, it should be on a tree. And while he sits, one of the fruit falls on his head, and then he thinks, oh, if the pumpkin was there, he'd have possibly got hurt, right, more severely. I mean, that's the question. This is actually an NID question. You can go and you can get it somewhere. Now let's see how they've answered. Now a couple of things here. So I always keep saying foreground, middle ground, background. Now, foreground, middle ground, background is background. You can see the hills, right? Middle ground, the person. Foreground, if you see the bottom kind of thing, you can see a pumpkin close to you, and you can also see a little bird there next to it. Now, why I'm saying is this: a lot of students have this habit of just drawing the middle ground and they leave everything else blank. The background is blank. In fact, the background, it just takes so fast to draw, and it gives you kilometers worth of depth. Can you see that little clouds there? The moment you see clouds, you're penetrating like very deep, like you can see kilometers worth. So there are a lot of details. Okay, one is, okay, overall, this is just explaining one example. But generally, how it works is, the first thing is appropriateness to the question. That means I'm giving you a question. Have you understood the question? Are you giving the right answer? Second is your perspective, how you're able to understand everything is in a good shot. You've got your height correct. If it's a witch flying over a broom over a city, you've got the height correct. You're able to see the buildings down because you're flying over. You're able to get the shot right. You're able to draw foreground, middle ground, background. You're able to draw details, as much as details as you can. You're able to draw texture. You're able to draw you know, maybe a little humor. Like, so when I say humor, typically you can see that little bird sitting down there with a question mark on the head. That is humor. The bird is like trying to figure out what is this guy doing, you know? So these are the different parameters that your skill, your any expression required, or things like that. Now, the next question you may ask is, okay, where do I stop? How much do I draw? If I'm supposed to draw that all that in 20 minutes, you know, where's the end of what am I supposed to do? So you need to, the answer is to optimize. You understand? Optimize. Optimize, that means as how much can you give in that 20 minutes or 25 minutes? The more you give, the better. The faster you can draw, the better. So therefore, you need to be very well practiced so that you're able to do that. Does that kind of give you some insight as to what you were asking for?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but this is a long question with a lot of discussion, with multiple examples. Okay, like I said, we will show you some good work and mistakes and all those kind of things. Okay, so it's a long question. I've just answered in brief, but every point needs to be explained. Okay, we will have different sessions for that specifically. A lot of sessions we'll be taking don't miss any of these important sessions. Okay, fine. Yeah. Next question. Or have we overshot for now, Amish?
Yeah, I think yes. So at any point of time, if you have any questions, please feel free to discuss with Sean or myself. All right, so we are always accessible. And bottom line, please do not miss any session, whether it is online theory session or the sketching sessions or material handling sessions. There's always something that you can learn in every class that you attend. All right, so make best use of them. Okay.
Okay, so basically, Tanya has asked a question on what is the pattern for bits. So Tanya, from what we have seen in the past, when it comes to the design, the test, right? UCEED it pushes you extensively for aptitude, and NID pushes you extensively for creativity, right? I mean, in general. If you are well practiced for both these exams, which covers, you know, either side of the spectrum, left and right, or maybe more, circular spectrum, all the other exams become easier. Okay, so we will also cover this topic as to about other design entrance exams which are written there about, since you have asked about bits DAT, we will cover all the other exams as well in detail. Okay. Yes, so we'll close this for now, and please don't miss any sessions in the future. Okay, Umesh?
Yeah. All right. With that, thank you all so much for patiently being with us, and looking forward for many such interactions with both of you, or all the parents and students. All right. So with that, thank you all so much.
Yeah. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.